Hey guys, what's up? This is Professor Jason from Mastermind MMA Academy. So, I really don't make too many videos. So today I wanted to make a little video about the mindset, right? The mindset, mental training, the mindset of competition. So we'll start out with this. Like, a lot of people don't really talk about this mindset, right? And, a lot of people break. A lot of people break, especially when they're newer. They break in competition, they break in training, and what happens is they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed and they don't know why. They don't know why. Is it just them? They feel weak. Is it just me? And nobody really addresses it. So, I want to start talking a little bit about mental training for competition, mental tools for competition. So my team, we compete a lot. We're super active, and for the most part, man, we're super. We've been real successful, in pure grappling, MMA. We've been doing good, and I believe it's due to the mental training. I believe it's due to us constantly touching on the mental aspect of the game. Okay, so there's a few different things, right? Say with my kids here, they break all the time. They cry, and I embrace it. I want them to embrace that. It's okay to cry. That's why I tell them it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. The more you cry now, the less you're going to cry later. Okay? Even with my adults, it's fine. It's okay to break. It's okay to break. There's no shame in it. The more you break now, the less you're going to break later. So with that being said, when you're newer and you're sitting here and you're looking around the training room and there's a bunch of just killers, man, and you're like, man, why is this guy so tough mentally? Why is this guy pushing through? A lot of times, these guys push through adversity at a young age, right? Or some, hey, man, what about you? What's going on with you? Oh, man, I wrestled since I was 5 years old. Oh, what about you? Oh, I've been doing judo since I was like 7 years old. And they're in their 20s now. So what happens is they broke a gang of times. They already broke. They built up that mental fortitude, and they are where they are now. So the mental aspect of the game, right? It's like anything else. It's like any kind of working out, any kind of exercise. If you tell somebody, hey, I want big muscles, what do you got to do? You got to work out. You got to lift weights. Hey, I want a big chest. I got to do my bench press. I got to do my flies. I got to do my push-ups, to get that. So with that being said, if you want a strong mind for competition, you got to do your mental push-ups. You have to do your mental push-ups. It's just not going to happen naturally. And I don't want to say there's always exceptions to rules. I'm sure there's some guys out there just happen to be, mentally tough. But it's like anything, man. It's like anything. It's like a castle, man. You gotta build it up. You gotta build your defenses. And a lot of times what we do is we train hard or we go compete. That's the whole thing. Hey, train hard, go compete. Nobody's touching on that mental aspect of the game. So you gotta think about this. Right? Say MMA, for instance, right? That's your goal. What you got to do is you got to do some kind of striking art. You're doing your boxing, you're doing your Muay Thai, you're doing your kickboxing. You got to do some kind of takedown art. You got to do your judo, your Greco, your freestyle wrestling, right? And even with that, that's a whole nother deal where you got to take the best out of all those. Now you have to have some kind of ground fighting. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you got Sambo. I mean, you got judo. In my opinion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the best. The gi, no gi, submission wrestling, whatever you want to call it. It's the best on the ground. So besides that, we're not going to talk too much about, technique or that aspect of the game. I want to talk about the mind, So this all starts from the training room. This all starts in the training room. You can't expect to go to competition all of a sudden, as a coach, I'm telling my guy, hey, push through, stay strong, and, it's not going to happen. So let's talk a little bit about like that embarrassment of breaking, that shame of breaking, right? So nobody wants to talk about it. And it's super common. Everybody breaks. Everybody breaks at some point in their life. Like I said, maybe when they were kids and they wrestled, they were in high school, they wrestled or whatever, or they did judo or whatever, sambo, whatever, jiu-jitsu. And they broke so many times that you're seeing the I don't want to call it the end product, but you're seeing them in the process at a higher level of mental fortitude. That's what it is. They broke plenty of times. That's why they're mentally strong. So now this goes down to the training room of, when are we mentally training? Are we just grinding here? We're just pushing through. We go home and we're still mentally weak. You know, you really got to open that door to that mental training. You got to let, you know, as a coach, you know, I want to let my students know right here is where we're mentally training. This isn't about the push-ups. This isn't about the pull-ups anymore. This isn't about the rolling. This isn't about the rustling. This isn't about the pad work. At a certain point, it becomes mental training. You know, everybody's cranked up in the first round. Everybody's cranked up. You know, everybody, when you have your energy, you know, everybody's strong. It's when the going starts getting rough, is when you start falling off mentally. When it starts getting tough, and, you know, we have this thing ingrained in us, this fight or flight. You know, either we're going to push forward or we're going to retreat. That's it. You know, those two things are just in our DNA. So what happens is you have to make a choice, right? And a lot of times when you're in the middle of a cage or you're in the middle of a jiu-jitsu match, you're not just going to get up and run off. But what happens is you find a way out. You give this guy something. You know, you make it easy for them. You know, you're in the middle of a match or a fight, and it's starting to get rough, and all these thoughts start popping through your mind. You know, I always talk about this voice. This voice pops up. You're going to have two voices. You're going to have your fight voice and your flight voice. You're going to have one voice telling you, go home. We got pizza and ice cream at the house. Just go home. Just give up. Go give up. It's going to be easy. Just give up. Then you got your other one, your other voice telling you to push through. Now it's going to be about which one's stronger. Which one did you do more mental push-ups with, if you even did any mental push-ups at all? You know, which one did you put more stock in? You know, the one where I push through or the one where I give up? And a lot of times you never know, man. You know, you're in the middle of this fight, this jiu-jitsu match, and there's 10 seconds. You know, there's 10 seconds, right? This guy's going to give up in 10 seconds, okay? And what do? You give up in 5. You give up in 5, and the guy, he takes you out, and he says, thank God. You know, maybe he doesn't tell you, but he's saying, thank God, because I was just about to give up. This guy gave up 5 seconds before I did. Thank you. You know, so sometimes it's just about pushing through, right? And you can't do that without tools. You know, you can't do 100 push-ups if you haven't done your push-ups before, you know? So, you know, I don't want to draw this out too long. You know, if I decide to make, you know, more videos, I'm gonna touch more in, you know, different chapters of how to work your mind, how to build your mind, you know, what to look out for, you know, when these times come, you know. So as for now, you know, that's it. Peace.